Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for stopping by. This is Arionyx, as always, streaming love for all things wrestling and you. So, you may have noticed we've been a bit quiet this week. There's been a lot happening on the 2K front, and not much of it is good. Like most of you, I saw what was presented by all the YouTubers that went to play the pre release and had some thoughts. I kind of had, I honestly, these guys are professionals. I realized I'm not one because I had trouble making a review. I kept breaking down, cursing out the company for unleashing this thing on us. And when I finally did get something decent together, I got copyright striked pretty much immediately. So, along with another video that I had done reviewing their trailer, so that'll teach me. Whatever. I'm getting the game. Most of you are getting the game. We're not talking about that right now because that's not fun. And when it's not fun, it's not worth doing. So today we're going to do something that's always fun. We're reviewing a new wrestling game. So, after a bit of a delay, we have the release of Chikara Action Arcade Wrestling. It's available exclusively on Steam right now, but it's coming to Xbox and PS4 soon. Honestly, I think it would look pretty good on the Switch too. So I kind of hope that happens because there's really no wrestling at all going on there. Like, come on, what's up, Nintendo? Sequel to NES Pro Wrestling, maybe? Let's get on it. Anyway, Shikara is currently on a 10% discount on Steam, so you can pick this up for under 15 bucks at the store. But is it worth that 15 bucks when you could be getting, I don't know, Popeyes with it instead? Let's have a look. So, right off the bat, we're seeing these graphics are a bit of a throwback to the days of earlier arcade wrestling games. And that's what I found myself saying a lot as I played. Oh, this part's kind of like a WrestleMania the arcade game. Ooh, this reminds me of WrestleFest. Don't expect the bells and whistles that you see in modern wrestling games. There's no entrances, no pyro, no cutting edge graphics. This was meant to be an accessible, fast paced game that anyone can just pick up and play. And it seems to accomplish that fairly well. Now, that said, the first thing you'll want to do is the tutorial. It's a pretty bare bones, it's like 28 pages, it's all voiceovered, and it's a little practice mode. It tells you what to do, you do it. You don't do it, you fail. You do it right, you succeed. The controls aren't that hard to pick up, and almost everything's done with a two-button setup. You really shouldn't need to do the tutorial more than once to get the hang of it. Maybe, twice for a couple of little parts. The game itself is based on the Chikara wrestling promotion run by who's that? Mike Quackenbush. I don't know tons about that promotion, but he did like my post on Twitter once, so you know he's a stand-up guy. Seems to be a good number of guys available on the roster. You unlock more by leveling up as you play. There's taunts to unlock. I haven't gotten all of it yet, but we're getting there. Like most wrestling games, though, I think most of your talent is going to come from created superstars, and there is some great stuff here. Honestly, a quick check online, it shows just a plethora of real and fictional guys. Most of them look great. It really was not long before I hit the daily limit of 60 downloads, which actually is kind of my main gripe about the creations, that we still have those limits. Now, for those of you wanting to make your own creations, that gets done in a separate app. That's available for free on Steam if you want to try it out. There's also a link in the software to some instruction videos on YouTube from one of the game's creators, Dave, and he explains how to create superstars, some of the various features, and cool stuff that you can add. I personally suck at creating stuff. I'd rather leech off you guys because you are so freaking talented. But even I can see there is a ton you can do, and if you want to get that deeply into the edits, or you can just stick to the basic stuff and still make a really good looking wrestler. I think that combo of ease plus the depth is, I'll say it, this I think this is the best create a wrestler feature in any current wrestling game. The moves, they have a good variety. You'll want some more. There's some obvious things that are kind of missing, but they range from legit moves to stuff that would be more at home in a Dragon Ball Z episode. My only complaint here is that when you're in the move editor, there's no back button. So you have to select a move to exit that list. That seems like a bit of an oversight. So, okay, let's move on to the game itself, the game modes. We've got basic, exhibition, or online. There's no franchise, no career, no story, no tournaments. It's kind of a one match in and out. Or you can play an online match, but honestly, during the period I was testing it, I wasn't able to find a single match. Maybe if more people get the game, then that'll change. Or some of my friends get it, I'm hoping, and I can try more of that out. There's some variety in the exhibition mode. The matchups range from a basic 1 versus 1. There's tornado tags, 2 or 3 guys on each team. There's elimination matches. There's a huge battle royal with 10 wrestlers in the match at the same time. This is just chaotic, good fun. The only complaint I would have there would be you have to select each player individually. So, like if you're playing by yourself or you get 2 guys, whatever, there's no random select or any kind of option to fill the rest of the spots. That would speed up the process a little bit, I think. But at least the setup for matches is painless. There's a really easy to follow UI for editing things like your match length, what arena you're using, the roster for the guys, available weapons, if you're using championships, all that stuff. It's all super easy. You're not going to have trouble finding, the options to get the things you want for a match. And once you're in the match, everything looks smooth and stable. They really focused on like the minimal, you can tell, it's minimal graphics and sound effects. They really ensured this game would run on a variety of systems. You shouldn't have any trouble meeting the system requirements, even on an older machine. So the moves are really easy to do. They're animated well. Actually, I wasn't thrilled that there's no way to put an opponent in a corner and perform like grappling moves and stuff there, or run in them with a clothesline. That happens a lot in wrestling, and it's not here. Reversals are performed automatically, and how they depend on kind of how often you've performed a move, and whatever behind the scenes in the game. So you don't have any input in that. Tap outs, eliminations, it's all figured out. By you. If you're out of health, you lose. There's no input by the player that can control any of these things. But again, this is a throwback to when we didn't have those features, and we liked it just fine. Damn it. Also, power-ups. We've got those now. Kind of back, what was it? The WrestleMania for NES, I think, was the last one that did that. But we've got power-ups. They heal a character, boost grapple ability, speed, various other effects. Now, the appearance of those is tied to spots. So the game will randomly select a challenge. Do a strong grapple while pressing this, or ram your opponent into the guardrail, things like that. You do it within a certain time, you get a health boost, and a power-up shows up on the screen for you to go collect. Those are pretty useful. You can use them to actually kick out of a pin, even if you do have low health, or if you want to get up instantly, you can sacrifice one. There's a few things you can do with them, so they add some variety to it. Let's see. Some of the moves glitch once in a while. I've seen this game give hit detection the finger so many times, but never really found it all that annoying. It kind of adds to the fun when you're playing with friends. And honestly, that's how this game should be played. It's where it shines. From insane 50-foot leaps in the air to the outside, or shooting lasers out of your eyes, there's always some holy shit moment that begs to be shared with your friends. You can do these things versus the CPU, but even on the hardest difficulty setting, there's no real challenge here. You're going to be pinning your opponent, and you're going to have full health, especially if you've been picking up power-ups and whatnot. There's just no challenge there. There's a few bugs with the UI menus I found when I switched from windowed mode to full screen. That is not recommended. I had a lot of issues after that, and not the least of which was like if you use the mouse for something, it won't go on what you're doing. You have to move it like a few inches somewhere else to get it. Got messy, but once I changed everything back, it was fine. In the matches, sometimes your focus gets a little wonky, so you can't see what one player is doing. There is a button that changes the camera view at any time, but I really don't think that should be necessary in a game. But whatever. Bottom line, should you buy this? And I say yes. I say big yes. It's not the best single player game out there, so if that's what you're looking for, you're not gonna enjoy this tons after the first day or two. But if you do have friends to play with, or people that have the game online around you, you're gonna have fun with it. Hell, add me, I'll play with you. There's a lot to do creatively, and from hearing from the creators, it really feels like there's a lot of things that are going to be added, and I'm just looking so forward to that. The bugs that are there, they're not killers. They'll get fixed. I firmly believe that. The price is right. It's under 15 bucks. And you're supporting an indie team. And it's a friggin' wrestling game. By guys that you can tell love this crap. We need more of that. So, if you can drop the 10 or 15 bucks to show them, I believe firmly you should do so. And again, then I'll have people to play with too. So, go buy it, please. So that's Chikara. Best indie wrestling game I think I've seen. There'll be a few others that you'll mention that were a little bit better, in the comments, whatever. I've played them all. I think this is the best right now. So, as always, thanks for checking me out. Drop a like, drop a sub, buy the game, get drunk with your friends, and play the hell out of it. You will have fun, I promise. That's it, guys. Have a good one.